Hello, and thanks for joining us for the European Athletics podcast. Today, I'm going to take some time to focus on the upcoming European Under-23 Championships. They're taking place from the 12th to the 16th of July. They're returning to the venue with the first ever European Under-23 Championships in 1997, Espoo, Finland. If you want to keep across all the coverage for this championships, it's going to be available on allathletics.tv, and the live results will be on the European Athletics website. Now today, I'm going to catch up with a new Norwegian 400-metre superstar, Havard Bentdal Ingvaldsen. And we're also going to have a talk to journalist Chris Broadbent and have a look at all the events and action that's going to be coming up at that championships. Now, just before we get stuck into Espoo, I want to bring your attention to an event that will be streamed on the European Athletics platforms on Friday, the 14th of July. That is the Morton Games taking place in Ireland. We're delighted to be streaming yet another one-day event on the European Athletics platforms, and this one is going to be super special. It's going to have English-speaking commentary as well, so hopefully it will be accessible to lots of people across Europe. Some of the highlighted events to look out for are the men's 400. That will feature two Olympic relay finalists, Chris O'Donnell of Ireland and Edoardo Scotti of Italy. The women's 800 is also looking super hot. Sub-2 runner Louise Shanahan, the local Irish athlete, will face no less than three Americans that have run 1:58. There'll also be Great Britain and Northern Ireland's Lindsay Sharp in there as she continues her return to form after giving birth to her first child. You're going to have a great men's shot put, national record holder Eric Favours versus Commonwealth Games bronze medalist Scott Lincoln. So an Ireland versus GB matchup there as well in the field. And finally, there's going to be a women's 100-metre hurdles featuring new European Games bronze medalist Sarah Lavin, who recently lowered her personal best to 12:73, an Olympic Games qualifier. There's plenty of other events to get yourself stuck into as well, but that's Friday night, the 14th of July. So now it's time to hear from Havard Bentdal Ingvaldsen. Okay, thanks for joining us, Havard Bentdal Ingvaldsen. You're a 400-metre runner from Norway. What have you been up to today? Are you having a busy day of training?
No, today I'm having a day off because it's the national championship tomorrow. So I'm charging my batteries.
Nice. What do you do on a day like today when you're resting? What do you do?
I'm just chilling in my sofa and watching movies and stuff like that. And I had my last preparation yesterday, so one day before I have spare time.
What are you running at the national championships?
I'm running the 200. I was gonna run the 400, but it's the U23 championship coming, so I'm halving the distance now.
Is that fun for you? Do you enjoy doing a shorter sprint, doing something a bit different?
Yeah, I like 200 more because then I don't have to be so nervous before the 400. I'm quite nervous, but 200 I don't get so tired. So I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds fun. Right, so I want to go back a bit. Can you tell us how you got into athletics?
I was playing football at the age of 11, 12, and a bit cross-country skiing. But many people said that I should try track and field because I was the fastest on the football team. So I joined, and I liked it very, very much. And I was started competing more often. And I took a lot of steps very quickly. So after that, in the 14, 15 years old, I decided to go all in. And from that, I just competed.
And do you enjoy maybe the individual sport, or do you miss the team sport of football?
And I haven't thought so much about it. I like the individual sports, but sometimes I can miss the team sports because it was very fun to have people to talk with every time, and you do it all together. But you get a good feeling of individual experience as well.
Yeah, nice. So you committed yourself to athletics. We're very glad. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So your first taste of success, what would you say? Bronze medal at the European Junior Championships. That was a big achievement for you.
Yeah, that was my first big experience. It was a fun experience in Tallinn U20 and I was like an underdog before the championship, and that ended in bronze. So that was a big moment for me.
Well, it seemed when I looked through the statistics that did you personal best in every round
Yeah,
in
I did.
Tallinn?
So I was a bit shocked after the first round. I thought I used all my powers and I had nothing left in the tank because I set a personal record. So I was a bit scared after the first round, but I had more in the tank in the other rounds, so it was okay.
But that must have been exciting to run really well. You must have been so pleased after every round. Did you go into the final kind of thinking, "Oh, I've already done fantastic"?
Yeah, because my main goal was the final. But after this semi-final and when I saw the heat in the final, I saw that I had a bronze chance. So that was the only thing that was in my head, a medal. And to succeed with the bronze, that was fantastic.
Yeah, because Norway is quite a small nation, but you have great success.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did that feel really special to pick up a medal for Norway?
Yeah, it was very special, and it was the first medal in that championship for Norway. So it was big to take the first medal from Norway.
Nice. And then a few months afterwards, in September, you then also ran a national junior record, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that was Carsten Warholm's junior record. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you'd already sort of set this kind of thing in motion in 2021.
Yeah. And it's kind of fun because in the European U20, I ran 46.7, and that was his personal record on the hurdles. And later I ran 45.94 in the nationals, and that was also his new personal best in the 400 hurdles. So I like taking his steps just without hurdles. So that's fun.
Sensible decision, I think.
Yeah, it's a meaning behind it, I think.
Yeah. Was that a target for you and your coach in that season, that national junior record, or were you just improving so quickly it was a surprise?
Yeah, it was a goal after the European Championship because running 46.7 after two 400 meters, that's quite exhausting for the legs. So I felt I had more in the tank. So later I had that in my mind. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we look at 2021 looks brilliant, but when I look kind of from a fan perspective, 2022 it didn't seem as like it went as smoothly. Yeah, no. Why was that?
I had a bit. I had sore hamstring. I was what is it called? Injured in the hamstring, and it took a very long time to like taking my step back. I hadn't that nice technique in running like I used to. So it took a long time for me to come back, but I finished with a 45.98 at the end of the season. So yeah, it was not my best season, no.
Was that very frustrating after having a very good year, trying to deal with injury and disruptions?
Yeah, it was quite frustrating. Many people said like 2020 was a big season, and I couldn't do more, but I knew I had more in me. But it was like that hamstring, and I got a Puma contract, which it was the shoes that was not fitting me. It was too hard for me, so yeah, it was a frustrating year.
How important was it to have that sub 46 at the end of the year? Did that help change your mindset as you look towards this year?
Yeah, that helped, of course. It was the last race of my season, I think, and it was on a new track, so it was not the fastest track. And I remember I ran with the long distance spikes, so that was a big. I got a self boost with that.
Nice. So 2023, yeah, I'm sure a lot of fans are going to be aware your performance in Oslo in the Diamond League, yeah, breaking Carsten Warholm's national record. That was a phenomenal performance. But the start of your season, I think, was perhaps a bit more modest yeah, you start the season was kind of normal, like, but then boom, suddenly this
Yeah.
massive jump. Yeah, talk us through, I don't know, your spring, your preparations for leading into that amazing race in Oslo.
Yeah, I had a good winter training period with no injuries, and I kept it going all the in the whole year. And I started my season in my hometown with a 400, and I remember I was jogging the first 200, and then I started the race like when it was 200 left, and then I clocked 46.3, I think. And I was so nervous because my whole family was there and I saw my friends. So I was more nervous there than at the Bislett Games. Um, and then I had some 300 meters at the Morton Games in Bergen, which went well, and the Nordic Championship in Copenhagen, which I finished first. And then I had like 100 and 200 here in my hometown, and I set a personal record in both. So I got a very good confidence after that going into the Bislett Games, but I didn't expect 44 at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, what were you thinking? What did you think your limit was?
No, like my ultimate goal was maybe under 45.7 or max 45.5, but I was not thinking under there.
Do you think it's that that consistency you had in the winter? If maybe you were missing that in 2022 with injury, yeah, how important is that consistent training, do you think, for your performances?
Yeah, that's very, very important to stay not injured, because you can do whatever you want, and you can have a good training sessions all day, and then you get a good form and going into the season.
Is that something you think you've learned as you've matured as an athlete, since you were a junior and now you're moving towards a senior? Is that things you've learned about you looking after your body and rest and recovery?
Yeah, that's for sure. I've learned from the injuries I had, and I'm taking and I worked with it, so I'm not getting the injuries again, and yeah, working with my body.
Yeah, I think that's something all people have to learn as they progress into the senior ranks. So it was a brilliant 44.86 in Oslo. You really backed it up in Silesia, though, at the European Team Championships. Yeah, was that a fun experience competing in the team championships?
Yeah, that was very fun. That was like I got a bit more shocked there than at Bislett Games, because I was very exhausted after the Bislett Games with all the media and yeah, all it was going through my head. So I felt before the race I was a bit tired. So to see 44 again there, that was fantastic, and it just shows that I've gone up a few levels in the 400.
And maybe learning that lesson, you have to balance. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of attention. Is that a new thing, trying to balance that attention with focusing on having energy left to focus on performances?
Yeah. Like it's a bit new with all the media and stuff, but I feel like I handle it well, and yeah, it's this is what I'm working for. So yeah, I think it's going good.
Well, it's wonderful for us to be able to hear from athletes like yourself, and you know, at this stage in your career. Yeah, so thank you for doing more media when you're you're still competing.
That's okay.
But when we look back to that race at the European Team Champs, your last 50 was so strong. Was that on purpose, or when you're talking now and you're saying you felt tired, did you mean to start slowly, or was that perhaps because you were feeling a bit tired? Yeah, was it on purpose or just a coincidence?
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose. No, I think it was because I was feeling a bit tired, and I just had like one speed, because I opened faster at the Bislett Games, and when I come to the home straight, I felt like I had more in my legs, so I just pushed it all out, and it's a good feeling when you have more in the tank than any other people. So that was a nice feeling to go first over the finish line.
Do you think what's the best way for you to run? Because you're very good at 200 as well. Do you think you're better off getting out fast or finishing strongly?
Yeah, I think I have to open fast, because I don't get so tired easily in my legs. So I have to use my powers in the best ways, so I can get all of my so I can get the things I'm good at all through.
It seems like you have lots of strengths, though. You can start fast, you can finish strong.
Yes,
Well,
because you can see that in the U20. Like I set personal records in 3 laps, so I'm very grateful to have that capability.
yeah. No, you obviously have good endurance. Yeah, would you ever run a 600 or an 800?
Yeah,
Think you could
I
do
hear
that?
that a lot in like after the 2 400s now. All the people says, "Oh, when is he running the 800? The 800? Is he the next 142 to beat Weber and Rodal's record?" But like I say, I will train for 400, and if it stops there, I can perhaps maybe try 800 later.
Oh, that's very exciting. I'll try not to get too excited.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I can try 600 first and see, and because it's the last 200 in 800s, you need to train for them.
Yeah. No, but that's exciting.
Mm.
So if we look forward, we've got the European Under-23 Championships in Espoo, Finland.
Mm.
Under-23 Championships is quite unique to Europe. It's something European athletics are committed to. But I think it can be confusing perhaps to people why someone like yourself, your European lead as a senior, why is going to test yourself at an under-23 level important and relevant?
Yeah, because U23 is my biggest goal of the season, because then I can meet people at my own age, and I have a chance to take a medal, and that's a huge goal for me to can get a medal around my neck and represent my country. So that's the big goal.
And I think to have a championships where you can compete for a medal, is that important to your development rather than jumping straight to a senior thing that's going to be very stressful? If you have a stepping stone in the middle, do you think that's important?
Yeah, I think it's important to have like that you have achieved something in your own age as well, in like the U23, and don't take a step to the senior at once. So I think that's important. Yes.
Do you think you'll try different tactics, or is it a space where you can experiment with different race tactics, or will you very much be no risks, 100% try and win?
Yeah, I think I'm not going for any risk. No, I'm just doing what I've done earlier, and yeah, try my best.
Do you think, have you looked at the competition at the entries for the men's 400 meters yet? Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it's we are 2 people on 44, and the third person is 45.5. So I think it can be a good competition between the top 3. So I'm very looking forward to it.
Oh, I think it will be exciting. And once you complete Espoo, what are your hopes for the rest of 2023?
It's coming up the World Championship in Budapest, so I think I'm going to take my trip there. And I don't have a big goal in the World Championship because there I will meet the world's best. So I'm just going to do my best and see how far it goes.
Will you have a relay interest with Norway?
Mm.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
you have
relay
mixed?
in the World Championship. Yeah, we have a team, but I don't think we are have take the record in there yet. I don't think we are qualified.
But hopefully, if you can you have multiple opportunities to gain experience. In Budapest. That sounds like an exciting, perhaps second half of the season where you can look forward to that. Do you think you can go even faster this season? And is that something you'll look for in kind of August?
Yeah, that as well. Like between the U23 and the World Championship, I think I will try to find a fast track event. But there I will try to run faster than my personal record, because I think that's a perfect timing before the World Championship and after the U23. Like I'm going to get many 400 meters in the U23, and they can work in my legs. So I'm building up my speed, and then we'll try to really go for fast times, like between those championships.
So you've had this big improvement this season. You mentioned it has been perhaps at times a bit of a lot of attention after the Bislett Games. How do you cope with pressure as an athlete? How do you try and stay on top of that?
I think I'm handling it very well, actually. I've realized that the higher pressure, the better I can run, because then I'm much more concentrated in what I do. And that you can see because in my competition in my hometown, I was more nervous there than at the Bislett Games. So I'm very grateful that I have that in my head, so I'm not getting so nervous.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything you do away from the track? Any hobbies or passions that help you, kind of burst that bubble of pressure?
Yeah, I of course I'm getting I'm with my friends in my spare time, and we are hanging out, so then I can get like other stuffs to think about. And I watch a lot of series, movies, and I have a huge interest in cars, more specifically like sports cars. So it's so I can get my head like away from track sometimes, so that's good.
Do you have a favorite series that you're watching?
Not now. I'm trying to find a new one, but not now.
If you like cars, have you watched Drive to Survive?
Yeah, I watch that as well.
Yeah,
so that's very interesting.
And if we take a quick moment to look ahead, 2024, we've got a European Championships in Rome and an Olympic Games in Paris. How do you look at those two opportunities for an athlete of your age and your development?
Like the Olympics is more like that's huge for me just to come there, and I think that's more like a learning progress. But the European Championship in Rome, I'm looking very forward to because if I have the European lead now, and if I can run faster next year, like the time I have now, that was a silver medal in the Munich last year. So, but it is 3 rounds there as well, so we can see. But I'm hoping to run very, very fast, and maybe I can come to the final, and all can happen in the final.
That would be a lovely story, wouldn't it? If you had a under 20 medal, under 23 medal, and then you have an opportunity for a senior medal.
That has been nice to have.
And then then we can just push you into the senior global rankings. We can release you from European Athletics.
Ready for that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the very best in Espoo. We hope that goes well, and then you can look forward to enjoying the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the talk.
Great to hear from Havard Bentdal Ingvaldsen there, talking about his season and his journey into Espoo over the next few days. Havard will be competing in his heat and semi-final in the men's 400 on Thursday, the 13th of July. And all being well, the final will take place in the evening session of Friday, the 14th of July. It's now time to catch up with Chris Broadbent and have a look at the different events and the people we could expect to see in Finland. Okay, welcome, Chris Broadbent. You are a long-time athletics/sports general journalist, and I'm delighted to have you help me preview Espoo and the European Under-23 Championships coming up. What are the biggest things you're looking forward to? We're going to try and structure it, go sprints, endurance, field, but I know you've been tearing through those start lists and having a look at everything. What should we set off with sprints? What's the best thing to look forward to there?
Yeah, well, great to be here. Yeah, I mean, the European Under-23s is in many ways is a bit of a development championship, but actually, when you look at the start list, there's some real world-class athletes there. Some athletes that have already made their mark on the European senior stage and the global stage as well. So there's lots to look forward to this championship. It's like I said, it's a development event, but there's also we're going to see some really world-class athletics as well. So kicking off with the sprints, I mean, that just gives us a great example of sprints. Probably going to be a double Dutch, I would say, in the 100 metres with Nikita Sado. She's a world junior world under-20 bronze medalist. And Rafael Bougie from the Netherlands is also around 10.02 in the men. So I would imagine we get a double Dutch in the 100 metres. But one person to really look out for in the shorter sprints is in the men's 200 metres is Blessing Akwazi from Israel. He is the world under-20 champion. He's run under 20 seconds, 19:54 PB. So that's we're going to get some pretty searing sprints, I would say.
I think it's so interesting. You've got someone like that, way under 20 seconds. And I think sometimes fans from maybe other continents or other people kind of say, why are they bothering with European under 23s? But everybody that comes through this championship says, oh no, it's a really important developing stepping stone. You can learn how to win at these championships, even if you're an out and right, you've got that ceiling and you're the favourite. But we see that as we go through the events, don't we? People respecting this as a stepping stone towards senior and a chance to succeed?
Yeah, I think I think going in as a favourite for some of these athletes as well is a really important lesson for them as well. To go in with expectation, it just gives them that it's part of the stepping stone towards one day perhaps having that expectation on them at the senior level as well. So, yeah, I think it's a hugely valuable event, and there'll be some cracking athletics in its own right as well. I mean, the one I would pick out, I mean, the perfect example of that is the probably most intriguing event of the championships is the women's 400 metres. Where Keely Hodgkinson is stepping down really from 800 metres. We all know of Keely's prowess at 800 metres. She's a world and Olympic medalist at 800 metres, European champion, but she's stepping down to 400 metres for this event. I think that's it's a win-win for us as fans of the sport to watch Keely step down out of her comfort zone to 400 metres, but it'll be a great race as well. She's not the favourite in this at all. British teammate Yemi Mary John is the world under-20 champion, so she's a favourite. She's around 51.20. Keely's best is 52.24, and there's also Barbara Manakova from the Czech Republic, who's a contender in this. She's a former world youth champion, so that's a really interesting event. And what I really like about this is that for Keely in particular, it's win-win for us. It'll be a great spectacle seeing her do that. We know that she's got a bit of speed in her legs. She's more of 800 metre runners, some of them have that 400 metre speed. Some of them, like yourself, Hannah, were much more of a typical middle distance. You could venture up to 1500 metres. But she's really got a bit of zip. That's why she's the world record holder over 600 metres indoors. But I think it's a really intriguing event. And I think for her also, it's a really, it's a stepping stone towards the World Championships, obviously, but it's a chance for her to go through the rounds, have that championship experience before she goes for the big one in Budapest. But that's a fascinating event, that one. Looking forward to that one very much.
No, I think Keely's certainly got her work cut out there. I think there'd be people on the surface that could go, 600 metre world record holder, like you say, Olympic medal over 800. But she's not going to have that all her own way. It is going to be a test for sure in that women's 400.
Yeah, great for her to step out of her comfort zone. And, if she wins, great. If she doesn't, no big deal. She's got something out of it. She's sharp under speed. She's, got used to the championship process again. So, yeah, good luck to her.
Yeah.
And then the men should be good. The men's one lap as well is the Norwegian. Norway's just going through a golden phase of athletics at the moment, led by Inga Britsen and Karsten Warholm. But we've got a new name now. This Havard Ingvaldsen, who won at the European Team Championships recently. He's going in the men's 400 metres. He was fourth in Bislett as well. He's a sub 45 second runner, so expect some fireworks in that event as well.
Definitely.
The sprints also in the sprints, the hurdles will be good. I think in the women's 100 metre hurdles, the Ditaji Kambuji, Swiss. She's a European bronze medalist indoors and outdoors. The younger sister, of course, of Munjinga, the European champion. So I expect her to go well as well.
No, I think that's one of those ones you've got in there, like Keely. You've got senior medals. Taji Kambunji has won senior European medals, indoors and outdoors, but she's still choosing Espoo as part of her preparation. So it's really exciting to have someone of that calibre, in the mix.
Yeah, loads of great calibre. So same for the men's 110 hurdles as well. Former European rising star Sasha Zoya in France. He's a former world under-20 champion as well. So there's real pedigree at this championships this time round.
Yeah, Sasha Zoya is going to be an interesting one because it's not necessarily continued a smooth trajectory out of those junior ranks. So I think when you look at him doing this, you can kind of see, yes, you're using this perhaps to get your age group career back on track, and a stepping stone into that senior. So I think he's always exciting to watch. Sasha Zoya as well. He's very interesting competitor. He's very flamboyant. So I think I'm quite looking forward to seeing if he can kind of bring out his best of 2023 in Espoo. So next, let's have a look at the best event group, endurance. I'm biased, but we should have some good endurance battles out there with the under 23s as well.
Yeah, there should be some good ones, and there is a strong British interest as well. It has to be said, on the men's side, Ethan Hussey is a world junior bronze medalist. He has an interesting head-to-head actually with the French contender Yanis Meziani. He's a European junior bronze medalist as well. So they're the two contenders in that one. That's probably the most interesting event in the men's distance events. I would say there are quite strong favourites over. In the men's 1500 metres, I think Matthew Stoney has already carved a bit of a niche at that distance. He's a senior finalist in the Commonwealth Games European Championships as well, so I would fancy him for that one. And it should be great to see Charlie Hicks in the men's 5 as well. He's obviously based in the US, but he's coming over for this, and he's been cutting it up in the US in the collegiate scene there. Came back to Europe and won the European cross country under 23. So I expect him to be outstanding favourite for the 5,000 metres as well.
I love Charles Hicks coming and doing the European events, because NCAs is such a conveyor belt of athletes, and it's something any fan sort of looks to kind of see what's going on with that age group, and to be able to have that direct comparison. Charles Hicks won the cross country, I think. At NCA level, he's won the cross country, one of the indoor titles, just came second in the 10K. So he's really is mastering that NCA level. And it's really cool to just like take him out of that, put him in a European context and see how it matches up. Like under 23 cross country. Yeah, he totally dominated that. And so, yeah, I think I'm excited again to see an athlete like him taking on the under 23 European level. So, but you're right, he's got a bit of a ceiling over everyone else. I think he might be okay in that 5K.
Yeah. There's something about him as well. He has a real maturity about him that belies his years as well. So I don't think he'll be fazed by it at all coming back across the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm. And we've quite an interesting Irish potential 1-2 in the women's 1500. I mean, Sarah Healy she's head and shoulders above the rest of the field. She's run very, very fast. She's well on her way to becoming. Yeah, she's got every right to be looking at the final in Budapest at the World Championships. But again, choosing to go to Espoo and maybe practice a bit of a tactical approach. But Sophie O'Sullivan of Ireland, she's ranked really highly as well, and that would be really interesting for a small nation like Ireland if they picked up 2 medals in the 15.
Yeah, Ireland's really making progress, and they've got a strong tradition of middle distance, but particularly on the women's side, it's come through really strong in recent years. And I expect Sarah to be the favourite for this one. I mean, she's nibbled away at a PB again this year. You know, she's down to 4:01 now. That sub-4 barrier is not too far away now. She's an Olympic athlete already. I think she has the experience as well now. I expect her to lead an Irish 1-2 in this one.
So our final event group is the field, and I've really enjoyed getting into field. I'm very much an endurance background, but working in sports media now a bit more and appreciating the field events has been super fun, and it's really loaded across so many events. For Espoo and that on the field side.
Yeah, it's quality almost across the board. I would say the throws in particular is really strong on the let's pick out the discus, for example. I mean, Mikolas Alekna, Lithuania, he was a world silver medalist. He's a European champion. You know, he's the real deal. You know, he's a European rising star. He's 5 meters clear of the rest. He's the youngest ever athlete to throw 70 meters. He's a proper world class operator. So I expect him to. I mean, there's other athletes in the field. They're strong German contenders. Richter, Sosner, both can throw it beyond 65 meters. But Alekna is just something else. He's a beast, and I expect him to win that one.
I'm wondering if Alekna's got half an eye. I looked up the championship record just to see, and it is Christian Che, but it's only 68. I say only because I could do it. 67 meters 48. And you kind of go, maybe he's got a chance there just to ruffle the feathers of Che, like before Budapest. Just say, I just got taken the title, smashed your championship record. So I think that could be something that could be quite cool in the men's discus.
Yeah, if he needs some extra motivation, I think that's a good one to pick up on. Yeah. So that should be interesting. The men's hammer is also very good. Kokan is 4th in the Olympics in Ukraine, but he's an 80-meter thrower. But a new name is British athlete Kenneth Kidji, and he was 4th in Bislets recently in the Diamond League. He's thrown 77.92. Again, he's another athlete who's just exploded onto the scene through the NCAA Championships, and he's a real contender as well. On the women's side, Finland's got its best hope, really, I would say, in the hammer throw. Silja Kosonen, she's world and European junior champion, 7th at the seniors in the world, so she's going to give the home crowds plenty to cheer about. And the other one to pick out is the women's javelin as well. Tsenko of Greece, she's a 65-meter thrower. She won the Europeans seniors last year in Munich, the youngest ever to win the javelin and be a Greek European champion. I actually spoke to her earlier in the year at the European Throws event, and she'd really made this event, the under-23s, like a real focus for her. You know, she was quite keen to. She's won the European under-20s, she's won the European seniors, and although she's not doing it in the right order, she wants to complete the set by winning the European under-23s. she said to me she wants to put the cherry on the cake. So this is a real focus for her this year. So it'll be interesting to see how she tackles this as well.
And I think perhaps similar to Sasha Zoya, I mean, Sasha Zoya did have bigger problems last year, perhaps in the high hurdles, but Sengo, she's for me, perhaps seeking out that consistency at a senior level. Don't be wrong, Munich was phenomenal. But even if you look at the early part of this season, she's not quite hitting her stride. So again, is Espoo a chance, to go there, accomplish something special like that, another European title, and maybe start to turn your season around before you go to that senior global champs?
Yeah, she's definitely not found that 65-meter form yet. So I think she's looking to unlock this is a great opportunity for her to do that, really, and go through the qualifying, go through the rounds, go to the final as well. I presume, her course should do that. It's just a chance for her to sharpen up, really, because she needs to just kickstart the season if she's going to contend in Budapest.
No, for sure.
And the jumps as well. We should move on to the jumps. There's some interesting events in the jumps as well. The high jump, the Ukrainians are very strong. Doroshuk is a seasoned athlete. He was fourth at the European Seniors last year with 2:28. He's been 15th at the Worlds. He's won a series of age group medals at European level. But he also has a young 19-year-old clipping at his heels there. Petruk, his Ukrainian teammate, he's done 2:26. So that should be an interesting contest in the high jump. The men's pole vault, we've got another example of a world-class athlete here. All the pole vaulters do tend to get overshadowed by Mondo, unfortunately, but let's not forget there are some other quality athletes there. Lillefoss of Norway, he's a 5.86 jumper, so we should see some quality in that event as well.
Definitely. No, and I think again, Paul Haugen Lillefoss for me is one of those guys. He needs something good. He needs to he's been again maybe a little bit inconsistent in the season up to this point, and like Sengo, it's an opportunity to go there. Maybe with slightly less pressure, still big expectation and a big opportunity, but a chance to kind of solidify a nice performance. Maybe in the low 580s or something like that, just to get ready for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and he's quality. He's a quality performer. He's third in the Europeans last year. I guess it'd be nice for him to go to an event and have a chance of winning it, really, without without Mondo in, because everywhere he goes, everything he takes part, obviously Mondo's there, so chance for him to go and get his own gold medal.
That's probably the same for the endurance lads as well. They're kind of going, all right, finally, we don't have Ingvaldsen to contend with. I'm not sure if Ingvaldsen, I think he could still do the under-23s just. I think, he's ageless, but it's an opportunity there when you've got some real dominance. And the poor guys in the discus are kind of thinking, really, Nicholas Alekna, why are you here?
It must be.
Stay in your own lane.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's lots of interesting stuff in terms of the horizontal jumps. Larissa Appiacino of Italy, she's a world-class athlete. She's a world record holder from the 20s. Fiona May's daughter, Fiona May, the former world champion, double Olympic medalist. She jumped 6.97, so she's a class act. But she won't have it all her own way in that event because Asani of Germany, she's also jumped 6.91 this year. So that could be an interesting competition as well.
It's interesting watching the Italian this season. So it's 2 Diamond League wins now, Florence and Stockholm. Neither of them particularly far. She wasn't pushed all the way up to her limit, sort of up to 7 meters, but she beat Malika Mahambo, Ivana Vuleta, Jazz Sawyer. She beat the best in Europe that were sort of lined up there. So I'd feel you're right. I think she will have challenges there from other athletes in the long jump, but that would be a shock for me if Appiacino didn't win the under-23s. And there's a few shocks in there, but long jump, it just feels like you have to hit your groove, don't you? You have to be feeling the pit and the runway and everything to go smoothly. So that could be a bit of a kind of tense one.
Yeah, could be interesting, that one. Yeah, but she's obviously got the pedigree, so she's probably the favourite. But don't bet the house on it, I would say.
You can bet your house on Alekna. I'll bet my house on Alekna.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
Sarah Healy.
He's the safest of all, I would say. Yeah.
You're right. You can't bet on endurance races. You never know what's going to happen.
No.
Cool. And also, just to finish off, we'll have a look at the multi events. To have a championship multi-event opportunity, that's a good development opportunity, I think for these athletes. Anytime you get to do the full decathlon or heptathlon, you're going to learn about yourself. And to do that in a European Championships, I think is important. And you can see that in the fields for the people that are entered, can't you?
Yeah, strong fields for the heptathlon. Just before we get and the decathlon, before we get into the depth of the heptathlon, we one of the leading heptathletes, Vicente of Spain, she's opted to go for the triple jump at this championship, which is interesting. She's doing the same as I mean, the triple jump's not part of the heptathlon, so it's quite interesting. She's going for the triple jump. She has got some pedigree in that as well, but she's I guess a bit like the same sort of thinking as Keely Hodgkinson, just getting out of a comfort zone, freshening things up a little bit. But she's doing the triple jump. She should be interesting in that. And in the heptathlon,
that's like Anna Hall going and doing the 4 hurdles.
Yeah,
it's not even an event. It's not even one. You're just showing off now.
You don't even do that, exactly. Yeah,
you've got an 8th event up your sleeve.
So that, I mean, that just shows the talent of her. Really, I guess it's keeping it fresh, and I guess you've only got so many heptathlons or decathlons in your legs, so maybe that's a way she's approaching it. But in the heptathlon, another Finnish hope as well is Vanninen. She's twice world junior champion, world under-20s champion. She's got a PB of 6.391, so she's the favourite, and she'll have the crowd behind her. It's obviously a big deal for her competing on home turf. So she's strongly fancied in that one. But also, one she can't underestimate is Sophie Doctor from the Netherlands, who's 4th at senior level at the European indoors. So yeah, she's one to watch as well.
Well, and the Dutch have got a really strong history, haven't they, with Emma Oosterwegel and Aniek Vetter. Aniek Vetter, they both got medals in Tokyo, and you're kind of thinking if that's the country that's churning out Olympic medalists. Yeah, you can't ignore an up and coming young Dutch athlete. Yeah, you've got to assume there's some crossover there and some knowledge shared and experience shared. Yeah,
they've got a great stable there in Holland, in the Netherlands now. So yeah, I think she's one to watch as well. Yeah. And in the decathlon, athlete really making progress this year is Scotland, another Norwegian as well. He's a real talent. He's trusted at senior level now. He's competing. He's 7th at the Europeans last year, 15th at the Worlds. But he's progressed further on this year as well. At the Gotsitz, the season starting combined events meeting, he was 3rd there at senior level. He's added 300 points to his best this year. His best is 8.590 now. So he's a really strong contender, and he's well worth watching as well. He's an athlete really on his way to the top, I think.
No, Scotland, he's really exciting to watch. You feel like on the senior level, he's kind of, I don't know, got 6 or 7 out of the 10 events nailed. But you're right, he's getting closer. He's improving. He's up and coming. And he was impressive on the first day at the World Championships last year. And then in Munich, he was impressive for maybe a day and a half. And then he sort of thought, okay, no, he's not gonna get near the podium. So it's exciting to see him develop. And yeah, another athlete, you're kind of saying, okay, this is a stepping stone, perhaps towards Budapest, and putting together 9.5, 10 good events, and seeing where that can take you on a global stage.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those athletes. So he's got a bit in hand on his rivals, and it's a bit of a dress rehearsal for him. This, but it can only give him confidence if he can go stick together 10 solid events and get a gold medal at the end of it.
Well, and he did, I don't know, I think he did 4 events at European Team Champs in the end. So, he's pretty, he's done a lot of events in one day at that event. So, he's going to progress towards that.
Yeah.
But wonderful. No, thank you so much, Chris. I think if anyone that's never paid attention to an under-23 champs before, I think you're missing out. It's a wonderful hotbed of talent. I think I did it as an under-23 athlete, and I think European athletics really know what they're doing. They're putting these stepping stones in to help our athletes succeed at a senior level, and this is a key part of that. So I really urge everyone to tune in and have a look at Espoo when it's underway. There's going to be lots of opportunities to watch across all the European athletics platforms. A special thank you again to Howard and Chris for joining us and giving us their time today to give us a real in-depth insight into everything to do with Espoo and the European Athletics Under-23 Championships taking place this week. We hope you do join us. There'll be coverage of all the sessions, and that's available on allathletics.tv, and head over to the European Athletics website to keep a track of all the live results and all the live reports from the sessions as well. But don't forget, if that's not enough athletics for you, we've also got the Morton Games on Friday, the 14th of July, where you can tune in and see some high quality senior athletics from Dublin.